Colio. I'm going to show a game I've been working on. This is a Metroidvania title. I showed a video of it a long time ago, like 3 years ago. I took like a period where I wasn't working on it too much. So really I've only been working on the game like about a year. And between my schedule of sometimes going out of town and going to work, I don't really get to work on the game too much. So it's sort of a hobbyist kind of deal. But I'll show you what I've got of it. The game's called Gazard. What you'll see right here is a temporary screen, and a lot of the artwork is temporary still. I'll tell you like what's final and what's temporary. But I thought I'd just throw some sort of like devlog sort of videos on YouTube so that I'm using my YouTube more. And I kind of want to like, I do streaming. I'm on Twitch TV/Colio Wing, which will be in the description. You can check me out there or in these on the YouTube channel. But anyway, this is just kind of like to catch y'all up. I haven't really shown much of this stuff on YouTube, so here it is. So I'm gonna hit new game. This is our character. You kind of play as in this game, it's sort of a god game. You play as a god, and you get like these champion lizard men to run around in, and that's sort of my excuse to let you have character customization. You can see like we can change your colors. At some point I'll probably do something to where you can pick you know, an actual color like through sliders or something. But for the time being, this is just kind of like showing how it works, and do things like different hairstyles and stuff. It's very similar to what I had before in this. So we'll go ahead and hit start. I'm picking the character. So this is our main one. He's a little champion dude, pretty basic move set. He has a claw attack, and he does combo attack, so you can do a single one or group them up to do an extra stronger one with like a bigger attack radius. So currently what we're looking at, all the background art and these like props, this save altar and stuff, all that stuff is going to be redrawn. Most of this was just so I can get an idea of how it's going to work. The character artwork is the final thing. The any of the monsters you see, any of the weapons and armor you see, all that is final. But right now I'm currently just like working on different character stuff, the different effects. Like these effects are temporary. I plan on drawing new ones for that. So any like slashing effects I'm going to do again. I think I've got a better idea of how effects are supposed to work. So I'm going to try another shot at it. I'm not too happy with what I've got right now. As far as monsters go, we've got like 70 monsters done. You won't get to see all of them in this video, but I'll show some later on. But I got a couple in the game just to look at right now. I turned the backgrounds on so you can kind of have an idea what the game will look like. But yeah, like the previous video, you can still run over and pick up different armor. The way it works right now is if you get hit, the character's considered like naked. He has no armor on. So if he got hit right now, he would die. But you can always pick up armor, which gives you additional hits. So once the armor takes a few hits, this is very basic armor, so it's made out of like cloth and sticks. After you take a couple hits, the armor will come off, and you'll have to either find new armor, kill the enemy, or die. I wouldn't recommend the last one. So when this character, the way he works is if you get armor, you get a shield equipped. This character can block attacks by blocking, so projectiles and things like that. And the armor all follows his different animations. He has a dodge roll, which gives him iframes, so you can roll through enemies and attack from the right. I want him to have a very quick sort of style of movement. They run fast, they climb fast, they can dash. So I thought it was a little more fun if it's a quicker moving game. That kind of takes advantage of the Lizard Man's character. You can pick up different weapons. We got 3 currently. There's a sword, a spear, and an axe. Each of these different weapons gives them different attacks. So if you pick up sword, his weapon combos change. So he's got this 3-hit combo now. Like I said, all these attack effects. I like the first one because it's clean. But once we get into the ones with the like, I made them a little too messy. So that's something I'm going to redo with these slash effects. I know they're a little jank. But there you go, that's how this sword works. The way this character works is he can take his weapon and throw it. So the sword will just throw in a straight line, hitting all enemies that it runs into, and then you can pick it back up when it hits the ground. And all the weapons he has a way of throwing it in the game, and they all throw a little differently. So here's the axe. Pick it up, and it gives you another 3. This one's got more of like a attacking all around you, or much larger arcs. And then when you throw the axe, it behaves like you might expect. It throws in a big arc. So the way this character is supposed to work is, oh, and you can store one weapon. You can always put one weapon away and equip another one, and you swap between the two. So yeah, I can swap between the sword and the axe. And I'll probably do like a sound effect or something for swapping out through these weapons, or maybe I'll show something to display what your other weapon is. I know, like, there's a few things that need to be added UI-wise. But right now I'm just kind of like getting the mechanics of the game working correctly, making sure all the bosses are good, making sure I have all the enemies and the room layouts are good. I currently got 208 rooms in the game, and I plan on having like 250, maybe 300, something around there. But a lot of the rooms are built out of blocks and stuff. They're not like drawn like this. So I kind of want to do that stuff later on. But yeah, the way this character works is you kind of like, you do some attacking, you throw your weapon, you swap to your other weapon, attack, roll through the enemy, you can pick up your old weapon again. So it's a lot of like really in and out switching between weapons, and the weapons do have like, sort of like the armor, they take damage over time and then they break. So if you ever break your weapon, you can always go back to claw. You're never like helpless. The claw's a lot weaker than the other ones. But I hope to put like enough weapons in the game, and then like the early weapons will probably break pretty quick, but by the later weapons it shouldn't be a big issue. And any weapon that you find, you can always get again from your main base, which I'll put in the game. So you only have to find it once, and you can always get it again. So it's not. I hope it's not going to be too bad. I hope. Basically, is what I'm getting at. I know weapon breaking can be a bit of an iffy subject, but I think I can make it work. So here's a spear, the last of them, and it's got its own 3 attacks. And the spear throws in kind of an arc, which falls. So you hit enemies on lower platforms and such. So they each have their own way of behaving. So I'm gonna show you some of like the areas currently and some of the monsters. Like we got this guy. He's our most basic guy, sort of like a zombie. He's kind of slow and stupid. He just falls down every now and then. Kill him. They got these little death animations, and yeah, pretty simple. These characters, they've got like they get random colors as you go into a room, so there's a little bit of a variance there. Not all the enemies will be like that, but ones that are kind of like based off our lizardmen will be like that, and some of the other ones you'll see. Let's try to kill him with an axe. Yeah. Oh, his head popped off. You see in the background, a lot of these backgrounds right now, there's not a lot of movement. I kind of learned while doing this as a test that it's good to have some good moving objects in the background, so I plan on doing a lot more of that. But this gives you a good idea of like how the parallaxing in the game works. It's got a kind of nice 3D effect to it right now. You'll see there's like some invisible platforms currently. That's because I haven't been using these backgrounds. I plan on adding new stuff. So I might run into stuff every now and then that's not actually there. Here's another enemy, raptor enemy. He doesn't run on slopes too well, so I'm gonna have to work on that, but this is one of the more advanced enemies. He walks around searching for you. If he ever spots you, he comes after you, and if you try and jump, he'll jump after you, so that's a pretty dangerous enemy. But it's not too hard. All you gotta do is roll through him for this guy, or kill him. Oh. Yeah. There we go. Yeah. Basically it on that. So I'm just going to show some of these areas off. So basically, when I do the devlog, I'm going to be talking about the things that I'm working on currently. I don't want y'all to be completely lost when I bring that stuff up. So here's another enemy, one of the larger. This is one I did earlier on, but these guys are permanent. I don't plan on doing another. This is one of the more tougher, more dangerous enemies, and I think our spear broke right there. So that's kind of an example, but you can always swap to your previous weapon. And that guy's a little too tough. He's got a lot of HP. Until you get like a better weapon, some of the enemies will be fairly dangerous. You can take them on, but it just be a little difficult. As you can see in the background, you see that there's a ground back there. Kind of gives you a hint that there's a way to go back there. In this game, I wanted to use a bit of that of a 3D effect as far as going into the back, so it's not just a 2D plane. So you can see that there's an area back there, and if you go over to like this inconspicuous box in the tree and destroy it, you'll see there's a hidden path. So I'm gonna have a lot of hidden secrets and things of that nature. So, and this area right here is the spot that we could see in the previous spot. A lot of this stuff's empty right now. I'll plan on adding a lot more of these monsters and stuff in later, and I'll make it to where things that are destroyed stay destroyed. The way this guy climbs, hops up on a net, he's pretty quick, so it's not like not real slow, and it's pretty easy to get around while climbing in this game. And I do a few things with climbing as a mechanic. So this is a big, inconspicuously empty room that you may run into something bad in, I don't know. And here's an example of sort of the different skyboxes that I've been playing with. A lot of this is temporary, but a pretty simple way to just go through a day-night cycle is changing the skybox and putting a shader over the whole thing. Kind of know how to do that now. But I was thinking that's kind of how it's going to work, and that gives you an idea of what the game will look like. Basically, this is the very front of the game, and you can go back into these areas in the background. And that's how there's all these rooms. But here we'll see, this is what the game currently looks like. This is a big change from what we just saw, but a lot of these things, you'll see like all these numbers and things, this is just what allows me to draw the backgrounds onto it. So anytime you see like a green block, that's just ground. Yellow block is slopes. These blue blocks are the climbable surfaces, so you climb on these. And yeah, just by using these letters and numbers, I can put this grid onto Clip Studio and paint the backgrounds kind of like you saw before. And I can do like really custom or very fine-tuned sort of backgrounds. So this allows me to quickly build stages and test them out, and then hopefully once I'm happy with everything, I just draw all the backgrounds, kind of what I'm planning. So this is what most of the game will look like in any sort of like videos I make. But okay, now I'm gonna show off some other stuff. We've got some, and this is like big spoilers for the game, but oh well, I'm gonna share it anyway. We've got extra characters. So this is the Were-Raptor. You can see she runs way faster. She'll be customizable as well. You can see she's got the same colors. Currently they just all share the same colors, but you'll be able to do them on their own. Currently I have drawn her weapons and armor, kind of like I've done with the champion. I just haven't put them in the game yet, and that'll probably be the next devlog that I do, is talking about her different weapons and armor. But here she is. She's sort of a more finesse character. She does not have a shield, and she can transform into this little, I call it the Were-Raptor. It's kind of based off of that raptor we saw, but it's sort of like a pantherish type of shape. So yeah, she's a very fast character basically. She's got about the same jump height, but she can do like this air juggling ability. to keep attacking while falling. She climbs a little differently than the other character, but she's very quick. So this character's all about speed. I'm sure speedrunners will love this character. Oh, and she can do, instead of dodge rolls, she does backflips. So she transforms, does a backflip, and then if you ever backflip into a wall, she springs off of it and goes through enemies while attacking. So she's got, you'll find a lot of her moves are very movement based. She doesn't throw weapons, she doesn't block, so she behaves a lot differently from the other character. I want all the characters to feel very different from each other. So a lot of her attacks have her springing through enemies while attacking, but she is a little more vulnerable like in a straight up attack because she can't just roll through an enemy, she can't just backflip. You have to backflip off of a wall to make it through an enemy. So there's a lot more skill involved with that. Oh, and this character also has a unique skill. All the characters have like a unique way of getting around the map. This one's unique skill has to do with these little openings like this. She can basically run through them. So he's got the morph ball by transforming basically. So that's the way she can open up new rooms for you. Currently planned, oh yeah, I didn't show this, but their basic attacks, she goes through this combo, 3 different hits. So her basic attacks are a little better than the champions, but she's also got a claw type of weapon, a sword type weapon, and a whip type weapon. So a lot of, I don't know, it's a mix between very short range, fast attacking weapons or long range, repeatable weapons, and a lot of like movement based attacks, but no throwing of weapons. A little different. Okay, so that's her. Here's the other character. This is our shaman. He's a lot slower. You'll see he's got these tattoos on him. It's basically like a mana bar. As he builds up mana, right now he's going to build all the way up to his maximum mana. You'll have to unlock this as you play the game by like finding these little magical resources that give him a higher maximum mana, but you're going to get to see what he looks like at full mana. He gets all this stuff as he gains these different like tiers of mana at 5 and 10. He gets these wings on his back, and it allows him to do additional movement options like levitation and air dashing. This character is all about being in the air. This one has the double jump, so he can double jump. Double jump, air dash. He cannot climb, but he can cling to these walls. And the idea is you jump around, because this is how you would be climbing with this character anyway. He's so fast in the air. Why not? So this is how he works. As he does different abilities, it expends mana, and you'll see anytime it like flashes red, that's basically just me showing that he's used mana. So he'll have the ability to kind of like teleport by using mana. So instead of a dodge roll, it's just teleport forward. I'll turn his sprites off and then turn them back on, and probably do like an effect for like teleporting, sort of like a blink ability. So right now he slides forward, but it won't look like that in the end. And that uses mana. He can also, after doing a double jump, he can continue to jump by using mana, so he can in essence fly, but he will run out of mana. Right now it's pretty good at full mana, but if you had only a few in the beginning of the game, you could only use this to get to like platforms that are a little higher than before. And that's kind of like how this character gets around the map a little faster. And as you can see, as he's got less mana, his movement speed's a lot slower for levitation. Now he's quick. So he gets weaker the less mana he has, basically. Oh, and this character can cast spells. I should probably have started with that. He starts charging as you hold the block button. This character doesn't have a block, but he uses spells, so he starts charging up, and then you press the direction you want and release the charge button, and it causes the spell to happen. So imagine this is a fireball instead of a square. kind of how it's going to work, and you can see it expends the mana. Right now he's at 15 mana. He's pretty OP because his like magic regen is just super high. It gets better the more maximum mana you have, but he's got all these different things based off of how you cast the ability. This will do like an explosion where he was with a backflip. We've got one where he summons monsters. Currently it's just a blue box, it doesn't actually work. But I mean, everything's tested. I've just got to like do the effects for him, which is what I'm currently working on. And he's got an ability that basically destroys the screen. It takes 3 mana, it's a full charge. It takes a while to build it up, as you can see. But once you get to the full charge, you can basically nuke the screen with this ability. That's kind of what it looks like. And as I said, I've got this game pretty much built. Like most of it's all here. I've tested it. It works pretty well. There's a few little bugs here and there that I've been finding, but it runs pretty well. Another thing about this character is he can levitate over water and lava and mud, which are the 3 different like landscape kind of things I have. Currently, there is a bug to where slopes are pulling him down into the water, so I've got to do something about that to where you can't, where he'll stay above the water. A few little things to work on here. So as you can see, I've got like I got most of it built. It's just getting a lot of the extras in. Like most of the monsters are done. We're going to be doing monster variants next, because best way to get some more monsters out of, you know, what you have is to just do variants of them. So some palette swaps, and they're not going to be that simple. There'll be some that use palette swaps, but I will do some that are just like a little more complicated. But that's one of the things I'm going to be working on. Oh, yeah, he's a big crab dude. Love a big crab monster. He's pretty basic. He's just a silly enemy. That's it. I think that's pretty much all I have to show about the game right now. Later on, we'll be working on like, I don't know, different bosses and stuff. I still haven't done bosses. I've kind of got them figured out how they work. I've actually done all the stuff like how they work. It's about testing and making sure they work the way I want them to, and that it's fun. It's got to be fun. Something I'm gonna have to spend some time on. But I think that's about it. I'm gonna try and keep these videos short. This one's gonna be long, but after this, the dev thing should just be like, here's what I did every time I hit a milestone, and I'll just like keep y'all up to date with the game. And if you ever want to see like a full stream of this kind of content, it's usually pretty boring, but I do some streaming on Twitch TV/ColioWing. You can also find me on Instagram /ColioWing. ColioWing everywhere, basically. But that's it. Just showing it off. Later.